efficiency through raising our cost of living. I hate it. I hate it to death. It's causing all the misery, all the homelessness. And the most objectionable part about this abject extreme poverty to the point of homelessness is that this is by deliberation, by intent. You understand, all these special interest groups that collude and benefit from the high cost of housing, including government entities that get tax dollars because of higher cost of housing. If they didn't have people literally dying, okay, that's the kind of fear they need to instill in people to extract these exorbitant rents and mortgages, is that you will die. This is serious. You will live under a bridge. If you don't serve me the way I tell you to properly, you will lose the roof over your head. So you better, if you can get welfare, if you're disabled, or if you're not disabled, you better hope you are so you can go get welfare, okay, because you got a problem, okay? If you can't pay the roof over your head, you will die out in the cold. You know how many people are scared to death of that happening to them? You know what a motivator that is, what kind of fire that puts under your butt, how much incentive that gives a man to go out there and fit into the social Darwinian economic system? Plenty. Let me tell you, plenty. Think it over. Think about the stuff I'm saying and why I'm saying it. What motivates me is that I want to live in a world of peace and mercy and grace and righteousness and justice. I want to be free, and I can't go it alone. You can't. I can't. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. If I know the end from the beginning, if I know that by me making millions and millions of dollars and having all this great wealth and prosperity and financial freedom, and I can share with my family and friends, and everybody will love me, and I'll give plenty to charities and all this crap. You understand? It doesn't float my boat, man. It doesn't do it for me. It doesn't, man. I'm sickened by it. I'm sickened. It's not the answer. The answer is that we got to go this thing together. We hang separately or we hang together. And right now we're hanging separately. And it breaks my heart and it kills me. And it's what instills a fear of God in my soul. That people just don't get it. They just don't get it. They don't understand how grave and how imminent things are, and that's what I'm trying to convey, impart to people, is just wake up, snap out of it. Understand that this is a huge threat. It's an existential threat. It threatens our very existence here, and God is angry. And I tell you what, I mean, I don't believe in the nuclear threat, but this whole talk about biological stuff that's being thrown out there, yes, with them chemtrailing openly, just the fact that's, even if it's totally and utterly innocuous, psychologically it's not okay. We know that. We know that cloudy skies bring on depression. Okay, so how many people are going in there and getting drugged and getting all these depressions and really screwing them up? Antidepressants, these SSRIs, whatever they're called, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, drugs, that make them depressed. Okay, and then they think of them, look, this must be happiness because this is what the doctor tells me. I'm taking happiness pills. You must be the depressed one. You're not fitting in. You're not going with the flow. You're not rolling with the punches here, man. Get with the program, man. You got to get with the culture of the day, the trends and the styles, and, think like, what's up to update your thinking, man. Upgrade it. Get with it. Okay, that's what, guys like me are being told that are thinking outside the box, so far outside the box that we're based. I'm gone, man. I'm already living in that world that God wants me to live in because I'm willing that everybody live there. There's no threat to everybody being included. It's all inclusive. It's God's job to condemn. It's my job to convince people to come out of Babylon. If you are a communist that's been deceived, it's my job to convince you that capitalism is right. And if you're a capitalist, a good capitalist, then you got to convince people how bad crony capitalism and how it's 180 degrees off from true capitalism. And it serves to besmirch the name of true capitalism and why it is just so bad. That's why you hate it worse. As a good capitalist, you hate crony capitalism way worse than a communist hates it. And you could understand, all you good capitalists, why a good communist that really is, for the people and all this, okay, why they hate capitalism. Because they're associated with crony capitalism. You got to convince them that it's nothing like that. And we've all got to come together on common ground here. and let the chips fall where they may. But we've got to start sharing the wealth of the planet and say, look, if you want a cut, you got to be willing that other people get a cut. That's all I try to convey to people, that we're in the same boat. And until we realize that, we're going to keep beating our heads against the wall. We're going to seek, happiness for ourselves and get our narrow little worlds, and can't worry about poverty increasing, the wealth and income disparity increasing, and understanding that all the problems in society are attached to this poverty industrial complex continuing, and flourishing. And it's more ridiculous than now, way more ridiculous than ever before in history, because we've got the knowledge of the ages at our fingertips. There's no excuse in the world for our disempowerment except that we're listening to the evil overlords, subconsciously, semi-consciously, consciously, whatever. However we're doing it, unconsciously, we're listening to them just by going along with this program, not objecting more, not being outraged, saying, no, I'm not going to tolerate my cost of living keep going up. We've got to turn this thing around, man. People are dying. I can't overemphasize this. I can't overstate this. I can't exaggerate this. It's real. It's the truth. It's facts. It's wisdom. It's logic. It's reason. I know what the hell I'm talking about, and everybody's got to get that through their heads, and so they can go out and convey in a very convincing manner that they're clear on the subject. They know what you need to expect. They know the character and nature of God. You've tested the spirit of truth, and you've embraced it. And now you're fit to go out and share it with people. It doesn't mean you're not a sinner. It doesn't mean you don't get weak and fall. Okay, but you know truth and fiction. You're not out there hurting people. Okay, and that's what I'm talking about. Sins that don't hurt people is just between you and God, and it's a downer. But let's ask ourselves why people engage in it. It's not to be taken lightly. It's bad. It's always bad, and you want to live a sinless life. If you're not free from sin, you're not free. That's another way that you could say freedom has to be absolute. And we need to be free from sin. But it's our own decision, our own choice. It's our own free will and accord that we do it, our own volition that we choose to be free from sin. But the things of this world we're forced to accept. We're not born free like it ought to be. We're born enslaved. We're born beholden. We have a cost of living. And it's not okay. And someday that must be changed, and we've got to understand that. We've got to understand how immersed we are in this thing. What a mess we're in. How eliminating poverty would cause massive unemployment, and how maddening that reality is. That truthhood, whatever the term is, it is absolutely true. That crime would plummet overnight. Consider all people that are employed in the criminal industrial complex. Dubious war is something that couldn't be gotten away with anymore. If people aren't desperate for money, I think they'll fight a war for a righteous cause, but they're going to research it. They're going to examine it first. They're going to know the details, what the hell's going on with this war before they get into it. Debt. There wouldn't be debt. Prosperous people don't go in debt. If there's no poverty, there's not going to be any debt. National, state, or individual. Okay, and then look at the social welfare industry. How many people are involved in that? So altogether, this is the poverty, the oppression, industrial complex. It's a satanic realm, and it's incestuous, and it's maddening. It's a collection of sundry special interest groups that all benefit from destroying the economy for the public at large, the regular everyday people that are the wheels of society. Okay, they are the fabric that binds society, the glue that binds society, that makes sure that that the welfare of the masses is intact, that go to their factory jobs, that drive the trucks, that work in the grocery stores, that work on the farms. All these people, these unsung heroes are the ones that would be set free. Okay, we'd have very low hours if everybody was productive. So what am I saying? How am I a threat to anybody? I'm talking about setting the captives free. Who are the captives? What makes them captives? And it is this monetary-based unreality, money-based unreality, this satanic unreality that has been shoved down our throats. So we don't know reality. None of us do. Our parents didn't. Our peers can't. Our friends, our strangers, nobody does from birth. So we've got to, first of all, admit that and understand the implications thereof on our mind and our thinking, and what it means to step outside this box completely and take a God's eye view of this situation.